Channel. A pest becomes very attached to a small town.
What is that on the back of your neck, Mayor?
First, they got the mayor.
We've had some disturbing developments here in town.
Then the sheriff. If nobody stops them, they'll take over the world.
What are the parasites? Where do they come from?
The Brain Eaters are coming for you next.
A few weeks ago, Riverdale, Illinois was just another quiet, small town. Then on that Saturday shortly after midnight, a living nightmare began. Sunday, about an hour before nightfall, my fiancée and I were returning from a trip to her family's home in the country. Our wedding date was set. Everything was right with the world. We were on the way back to town to tell the good news to my father. All of them. Dead.
What is it?
I don't know. 48 hours later, in Washington, a hastily summoned UFO committee anxiously awaited to see a special screening of top-secret Army films. Delaying the proceedings was the late arrival of Senator Walter K. Powers.
All right, Garrett, let's go. Lights.
A ravine 6 miles south of the town of Riverdale, Illinois. 48 hours ago, discovery was made of a great cone-shaped object. The cone stands 50 feet high, has a base diameter of 50 feet. The nature of the cone, undetermined. Origin, unknown. Efforts made to determine the composition of the cone by Dr. Paul Kettering, principal scientist for Project Damper, have proven futile. The surface of the cone has a total resistance to pressure, heat, acid. Coincidental with the discovery of the cone is the brutal slaying of several of the town's leading citizens. Townspeople questioned provided stories of strange sightings on or about the time of the discovery of the cone. One report cited the appearance of a fiery horse-drawn chariot in the sky. All reports inconclusive. As of this report, the origin and the nature of the cone remain unknown.
Lights.
I don't know whether you gentlemen are aware of it, but on directive from the executive branch, I've been given a free hand in the matter of this ship. I want some action. I have the people's interests at heart, but I will not have my hands bound by lack of all the facts. Dan, call the hotel and tell them to pack our things. Then call the airport and charter a plane. We're heading for that little town of Riverdale. I want to see this thing firsthand. Call the signal corps. Get General Prescott on the line. Say that Walter K. Powers will not tolerate departmental interference. That if that spaceship film has been doctored in any way, he stands in a very shaky position. Lay it on thick. I want him to keep so busy cleaning out his own closet that he won't find time to get in my way out there at that ship.
I'll use the old investigation threat. That always works.
Good. Garrett! Garrett, I'm going to poke so many holes in that spaceship fairy tale, the lid'll be off in 24 hours.
Washington had wired ahead that Walter K. Powers was to arrive in Riverdale to take charge of the spaceship investigation. Powers had requested that there be no publicity whatsoever.
Mr. Powers?
Yes, Dan Walker.
How are you?
Where's the mayor?
Oh, he's not here, Mr. Powers. I'm his son, Glenn Cameron.
We wired ahead. Why isn't he here?
Well, we've had some disturbing developments here in town, Mr. Powers. As of last night, we've got 3 murders in our hands.
The mayor?
No, at least we're hoping against it. He's disappeared, though. There's no word of any kind.
Sounds to me like the Department of Law Enforcement has an abundant supply of bunglers. Do I have transportation? All right, let's get out to that ship or cone or whatever it is.
Entering the restricted ravine area, I had the feeling that we were being watched, although there wasn't a soul around. The sheriff had instructed his men to keep the woods clear of curiosity seekers. Every precaution was being taken to safeguard scientific equipment and the scientists, whose work had to continue unhampered.
Gentlemen, this is Alice Summers, Dad's secretary. She's helping Dr. Kettering with his paperwork. Alice? Mr. Walter K. Powers?
Hi.
Dan Walker.
How's it coming along?
Well, Dr. Kettering's all set to go inside the cone.
You mean no one's been inside yet? What's the holdup?
System, Mr. Powers. That thing may have dangers we don't know of.
Did Kettering come down from up there?
Well, he and Dr. Weiler are making a test just now.
What kind of test?
A sonic test. They're sending sound impulses into the tunneling to determine its length.
I'm going up there.
Mr. Powers, Dr. Kettering may not like that.
Dr. Kettering?
You must be Walter K. Powers. I'm Dr. Weiler.
I can see that. What's the matter with him? Is he hard of hearing?
39.7 ratio, test negative.
Check.
Yeah, hello, Powers. I'm Paul Kettering.
You know why I'm here. I want action.
Good. We can use some. So far, our batting average is 0.
Not quite 0. I understand this ship had some kind of markings. They were destroyed.
That's impossible. First, let me say, we haven't determined whether it is a ship. And as for any markings, before a single hand touched that cone, it was photographed from every conceivable angle. Black and white, color, still, motion picture, spectrographs. Everything's open to your inspection.
Who took these photographs?
My staff and I. Look, this thing is indestructible. To remove any markings, you'd have to alter the surface. And that, Mr. Powers, is impossible.
Nothing's indestructible. Give the wind enough time, and it can wear away a mountain.
Well, as you can see, not a mar. I've tried everything science knows of. Diamond bit drills, metal-eating acids, all with no success.
Where does that opening lead?
As yet, we don't know.
Ship has to have a control room, place for an engine of some kind, place for fuel, living quarters.
Yeah, well, since we can't determine what it's made of, you can scarcely expect anybody to know what its function is. Since we haven't found out what's on the other side of the metal by penetrating it, we can't find out what's down inside the tunneling. Watch this.
What's it mean?
It means the tunnel is cyclic.
Is what?
The point of origin becomes the point of return.
I can do without the double talk. I don't like to push you, Kettering. But you science boys tend to get all wrapped up in your test tubes. And the obvious things escape your attention. I've got to have something to report. I want action, not theories. I want to know what's on the inside of that ship.
Well, I suppose now's as good a time as any.
Don't you think it wise to be armed? Come on now. What's really on the inside of that thing?
I don't know.
Dr. Weiler, it has been a long time. Could anything have gone wrong?
I don't know.
How long has he been in there?
Too long. Kettering, are you all right?
A little the worse for wear.
What did you find?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's tunneling all the way through, spiral, like a toy railroad train, up and down over and over again.
Well, the thing has some purpose. What's it for?
I don't know.
Hello? Hold the line. Glenn, it's the sheriff.
Yeah?